Hi, Tegan and Sara.
Hi, that's us.
I listened in, yes I'm guilty of it, you should know this. I broke down and wrote you back before you had a chance to forget, forgotten. I am moving past this, giving notice. I have to go, yes I know the feeling, know you're leaving.
Is it important to you to tie in politics to what you're doing?
I don't know if it's tie in politics, but it's like we cannot take ourselves that seriously. We cannot take this business that seriously. I can't believe that the breaking news on this, that we turned on the news this morning and the breaking news is Lindsay Lohan. And I'm just like, it's profoundly irritating, like for me at least. And it's not that I necessarily feel like we're so political, but like, I'm not trying to be like negative, but it's like I certainly wouldn't have turned on the news in Montreal this morning and seen Lindsay Lohan on the news. It's shocking to me how like Hollywood obsessed America is, especially when they're so, like when there's such a powerhouse in the world and they cause so many problems and they're involved in so many conflicts, and the money and the poverty and the racism and the sexism and the homophobia and the environmental problems and all the things that are happening in our world, and breaking news on TV is Lindsay Lohan acting like an asshole driving drunk.
Nobody likes to, but I really like to cry. And nobody likes me, maybe if I cry. Nobody, 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 nobody.
I've been thinking a lot about pop culture and fame. I don't know, it's just really interesting to see what's happening to like sort of fame and culture. I find it really interesting, yeah. I mean, it's like a weird social experiment, you know what I mean? Like all these people with all this money and talent and beauty and fame going out and like, in a way, they're like spiraling out of control and everyone's like, oh my God, look at what Britney's wearing. And it's like, it's not like she bought a gun and is like walking around packing, you know, with like blow all over her face and like beating up fans. I mean, she just has making bad choices about clothing and like, you know, she fired her management. Like, why is that such a big deal? Why is that so important? It shouldn't be a big deal, especially when this country's at war and all the things that are happening politically.
It's just fascinating.
It's easier, I think it's easier to save Lindsay Lohan than it is to say, for instance, explain the billions of dollars that we're spending having an illegal war.
Repeat the words that I know we both said. Relax into the need, we get so comfortable. Remember when I was so strange and remarkable. I just want back in your head.
I've been thinking a lot about pop culture and fame and like art, just you know, and how that really relates to what we do. You know, all of a sudden, you know, we went to a major label. We went from being signed to Neil Young's record label and like, you know, transitioned onto a major label. And you know, Sara and I are always pretty like aware of sort of like what we're doing and the people around us and how we're being perceived and our fan base. And like, you know, we're just all keeping it all in perspective. It's like this little mini universe, and as our little mini universe grows, I'm definitely always extremely aware of like how it's growing and how we're, you know, again, how we're being perceived and the image that we're projecting and putting out there. And it's always been very important to Sara and I to give everybody a good show, put out a great record that we believe in. But you can still be pop and be intelligent.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's something we've always focused on too, that we aren't necessarily making like, you know, obvious like statements in our music about our political like beliefs, but just by being who we are and by being open about, you know, being out and like being girls in this industry and being very like, you know, sort of like articulate and well-spoken and very aggressive about the direction our career is taken. In a way, we are making huge statements, you know what I mean?
Dark, oh no, you can't come soon enough for me. Saved from another day of misery. Everything I love, get back from me now. Everyone I love, I need you now. Don't
You have that type type of fan base that really exists in music in a special way, that's just like wants to be super connected, that wants to be there. They want to know every step of the way you guys are going. And is that something you guys consciously cultivate? Did it just happen and then you follow it up?
I think that there's a part of us that knows that it's an important connection to make directly with our fans. Like, you know, it's sort of, by speaking to them, like, it feels as if they're getting something special from us. Like, you know, it's not like this fame, I'm up on a podium, I don't know who you are, sunglasses and cigarettes kind of attitude. It's like, you know, like the whole, just like, we're just like them. Like, we're the kids that would wait at 6 o'clock in the morning to see our favorite band play in store if we couldn't get tickets to see their show. And like, we are just like them. So, and I want them to understand that. But I also think that there's a bit of the whole like fan fame thing that gets people a bit spastic, and I think that like as much as I like totally love our fans and love keeping them in the loop, there's still that sort of like strange element of like defense mechanism, like keeping people keeping a bit of distance from people, and that can be difficult. Like I definitely don't want to distance ourselves too much from people, but as the thing grows, you realize that like it's just normal to want to like be able to like say like, well, there's some mystery around us, or we are private, right? Like we can still have privacy. It's always been so important to us to make sure that they feel like it's a direct dialogue between us and them, not with the middleman, not with the label, not with, you know, the media speaking for us. Like we can speak for ourselves. We don't need any of those things anymore. Like the internet, MySpace, all of these things has provided us a direct line to people, and like why do we need that middleman?
I took the train back to where I came from. I took it all alone, it's been so long, I know. Imagine me there, my heart is sick with no air, begging you to please now help me drown these memories. All I need to hear is that you're not mine, no, you're not mine.
We finished touring So Jealous about 1.5 years ago, and we decided we were going to take a year off, like to write and record, you know, so it was all supposed to happen within a year, and it ended up being almost 1.5 years because Chris Walla from Death Cab for Cutie, who we decided to use as a producer, he wasn't available until almost a year after we got off the road. And at that time we were still signed to, you know, Vapor Records, which is Neil Young's record label, which we'd already made 3 records for. And then, you know, we made the record with their support, and then Sanctuary, who sort of co-owns and distributes our records and our past records, went under, you know, or ceasing operations in the US, so we had to negotiate a new deal. But it was once we'd already finished the con. So the con was made in the same spirit that we've always made all of our records, which is that we go into the studio, we make the record, and we hand over a finished product, and we're like, hope you like it.
You wait up for me, I don't wake up for you. Would you like the company, or are you sick of me? When your love lets you go, you only want love more, even when love's not what you were looking for. Speak slow, tell me love, where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go?
We feel like that within the sort of like limitations that we had, like, you know, we couldn't go to just any label. We had to go to a label that could handle taking on our whole catalog, and that had to be a major. So, but yeah, making the record was an amazing experience, and Sara and I never ever vocalize exactly what it is we're looking to do or intending on doing with each record. It just happens.
Did you write it in the same city? I know some records
No,
were separately.
no. Even when we did live in the same city, we never really write together. It's very much an independent sport. You know, I really like doing it, and I would hate to interfere with her process. I wouldn't want, like, you know, like, it's very easy to get frustrated and emotional and insane when you're writing, and like to put someone else through that and like to take away from their writing experience and stuff, that wouldn't be fair. So Sara and I write pretty well all the time alone, and then, you know, once the song's pretty much complete, we'll send it to each other and collaborate. And so the con was done, you know, 3,000 miles apart, but, you know, with the internet and stuff, it felt like she was, you know,
Are there Tegan
5 minutes away.
And Sara songs, like
The record's 50-50, yeah. Seven of the songs are mine and 7 are Sara's. And
do you view them like, is there like an ownership when you guys are playing them, or do they become each other's?
when you're playing them, yeah. I mean, definitely, like, it feels like they're my songs when I'm singing them. But when I'm playing Sara songs, I feel like, you know, I mean, I saw them grow from what they started out to what they are now, so I feel like I'm part of them. I'm like a step parent to her songs, and I'm like a parent to my own songs, I guess.
Where do we go? again so
Thank you.
much.